Now, it's easy to get swept up in the fervent hype of secret alien facilities and shadowy government organizations trying to keep the wool over society's eyes by hiding the fact that the entrance to a private swimming pool is in actual fact an underground anti-gravitational bunker, or, the parking lot for an entire fleet of intergalactic space vessels. Probably, anyway. In fact, all across the planet there are a huge amount of those very same places, similar in essence to the legendary Area 51, and believe it or not, most of them aren't a secret at all. And strangely enough, in many cases, these secretive, shadowy testing facilities aren't out there in some long-forgotten corner of the desert, but instead right beneath our very noses. So in that case, let's take a look, shall we? Hello Internet, what's going on? And once again, welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. As per usual, I'll be your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch, as today we curiously ask the question, are there other sites similar to Area 51? For the curious amongst you, that clip was of course from Stranger Things Season 1, where a particularly poor and unlucky research scientist got gobbled up by a Demogorgon. And while it's definitely a fitting cinematic portrayal to set the scene for today's Life's Biggest Question, it's also relatively important to note that in Stranger Things, the fictional Hawkins lab is secretly owned and operated by the United States Department of Energy, an organization that you may see popping up quite a few times over the course of this next video. Hey, I'm not saying that the two are connected, but speculation pretty much comes with the territory here, doesn't it? Okay, so for the most part, this LBQ is going to be quite jam-packed with information because, believe it or not, there are a metaphorical boatload of mysterious locations across our fair planet Earth that are as equally mysterious, if not more mysterious, than the USA's Area 51. But whilst we're on the topic of Area 51, we may as well pick up from where we first left off and take a look at the site closest to it. And yeah, exactly, you called it. It really is as simple as that. Area 52. Well, kind of, because although its official designation is the Tonopah Test Range, a location which resides around 70 miles due northwest of Groom Lake and Area 51, Area 52 has affectionately become its nickname. But I mean, the US government didn't admit to Area 51's existence until 2013, so it's not outside the realm of possibility that Area 52 could be its official designation. Tonopah is an incredibly interesting place for the most part, and the technical operations that are held there have become the basis for some incredibly wild claims. And who owns it? Yeah, the United States Department of Energy. In some cases, there are those that believe Tonopah is the area where they operationally fly the aircraft that are based upon alien technology after they have been designed and tested at Area 51. A pretty bold claim, although one that is partially supported by the fact that the same aircraft that service Area 51, the Janet Boeing 737s, also fly into Tonopah on a daily basis. In fact, this man, William Powelek, a United States Air Force computer operations specialist who sadly passed away in 2007, fervently claimed that Tonopah was one of the most secret, covert Black Project Air Force bases in the United States. He said that it was hiding in plain sight compared to the secretive nature of Area 51, and that its counterpart, Area 52, housed much more impressive secrets. So, okay then, we've got Area 51, Area 52, but what about Area 6? Yeah, although the coveted Nevada nuclear test site does indeed include areas that stretch between 1 and 30, on paper that is anyway, the so-called Area 6 is an asphalt runway that stretches for around a mile on the Yucca Flat, which again is owned and operated by the autonomous United States Department of Energy. Hey, I'm not saying anything. As far as anyone in the know is concerned, Area 6 is an unmanned airstrip, but there are those that have claimed beneath its desert exterior it houses an array of remotely operated drones and UVACs that allegedly work on the stuff that's too dangerous for even human intervention. And talking of human intervention, we haven't even mentioned Dulce Base, the subject of a conspiracy theory so wild that it alleges a jointly operated human/alien underground facility exists beneath the Arcolita Mesa that lies on the border of Colorado and New Mexico, near the small town of Dulce, New Mexico. Since the late 1980s, UFO theorists were so convinced of the base's existence that many even claimed they'd witnessed the United States Delta Force in active combat against a squadron of armed alien special forces. Yeah, XCOM called. They want their plot back. I'm not too sure about that one. Whichever way you spin it, it's safe to say that even with Area 51, the United States still has its fair share of other shadowy sites and illicit operations, the majority of which are often explained away as military relics left over from the Cold War, which is an interesting point because if the USA has Area 51, Area 52, Dulce Base, and all of the other unexplainable areas, then surely Russia has to have their own version, right? Well, of course, but as is often the case, in Russia, things are a little bit different. Have you ever heard of Kasputin Yar? Well, now you have. A Russian military facility in Astrakhan Oblast that lies between Volgograd and Astrakhan, which was established by the Soviet Union in 1946, and although officially operated as a missile testing facility, is the source for pretty much every UFO conspiracy in Russia. For all intents and purposes, Kasputin Yar is Russia's Area 51, but there may be an even stranger and potentially much more secretive aspect of Russian infrastructure than we may have first realized. These so-called closed cities, which although exist in quite a large number of countries across the planet, the largest amounts still reside in Russia, where there are rumored to be over 50 which operate to this day. In modern Russia, on paper anyway, these closed cities are officially known as closed administrative territorial formations, which is as shady as it sounds. All of them are in the more remote portions of Russia, and all of them are closed off by barbed wire and armed guards. Whilst on official record there are 42 of these cities where people live their lives technically separated from the rest of the country and the world, there are countless others which are rumored to exist in the far north of Russia and borders of Siberia. What they're used for? Well, such is the nature of their remote location and secrecy, and we will probably never ever know. Seriously, people live there. In fact, all across the planet in pretty much every country, there are a massive number of staffed locations whose sole purpose is to keep the prying eyes of citizens far from their doors. In the UK alone, there are at least a handful: Porton Down, the Southwick Tunnel, RRH Portreath. In Australia, there is Pine Gap and Swan Island. In South Africa, there is the alleged Kalahari Farm. Canada has Dwyer Hill. India has Conga Pass. Brazil has Virginia. North Korea has the incredibly strange and potentially remote Room 39, and don't even get me started on what strange and secret locations are lurking in China, because the truth is no one knows what the hell their new Project WEM is or where it's even built. Yeah, anyway, there's quite a lot. Well, there we have it, folks. Our long and short answer to the question, are there other sites similar to Area 51? Yes, there are loads. What do you guys think? Do you agree, disagree, have any more to add to this particular notion? Then let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you'd like to carry on with your questioning binge or just can't seem to plug that ever-burning question, that is, what the hell is going on at Area 51, then feel free to take a look at our playlist neatly compiled for your viewing enjoyment. On that note, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for in today's video. Cheers for sticking around all the way until the end. If you were a fan of this video or just Life's Biggest Questions in general, then please be a dear and hit that thumbs up button, as well as that subscribe bell, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. As per usual, I've been your disembodied flowing voice, Jack Finch. You've been watching Life's Biggest Questions. Until next time, you take it easy.